Kids today don't realize that New York's most powerful, wealthy, and famous people used to get off at this stop right here. This neighborhood has a lot to be proud of, from its entertainers, its Jamaican and soul food restaurants, and the part it has to play in the civil rights movement. I'm talking about Rochdale Village, y'all. But before we talk about Rochdale, we have to talk about what was here before Rochdale was developed. I'm pretty sure kids today don't know that this land used to be Jamaica Racecourse. On April 27, 1903, Jamaica Racecourse opened up. For a little over 50 years, this track hosted some of the most famous horses and the most powerful people. But in 1955, the Greater New York Association took over the racetrack, along with Aqueduct, Belmont, and Saratoga. The association decided to take its funds to renovate Aqueduct, with Aqueduct slated to open back up in the fall. Jamaica Racecourse closed on August 1st, 1959. And was demolished the next year. Enter Robert Moses, my least favorite New Yorker of all time. Well, maybe second now. Robert Moses only had one official job with the city, and that was park commissioner, even though he seemed to be the most powerful person in the city. He wanted to take the land and make it a public housing development. This would have made Rochdale the largest public development in the country. If you didn't know, Queensbridge is the largest in the country. Ultimately, Mitchell-Lama Housing Program got the final say and decided to make it a cooperative development. It was being sold as an experiment for integration. This was supposed to be affordable housing for blacks and whites, but during the construction, black contractors weren't being allowed on the site. Also, the ratio was going to be 90% white, 10% black. This sparked several civil rights protests during 1961. Here you can see a woman sitting in the street, stopping a cement truck for making this delivery. Now, this is the type of bravery that I wish we had today still. Like, I wish I knew what this woman's name was. If anybody knows who that woman is that's standing in front of the cement truck, let me know. Rochdale was completed in 1963. It had 10 to 20% blacks living there when it first started. But by the late 60s and the mid 70s, white flight had taken place. I wonder how many people know that Rochdale was the largest co-op in the world until 1971, when Co-op City in the Bronx was finished. Now, in addition to the 85, you have the 89 that stops over here now. After all these years, it looks like they're finally putting an elevator here. I wonder why now. One thing that's cool about Rochdale Village is it has its own power plant. So when there's a blackout, the lights don't go out here. Same thing with Co-op. They have their own power plant too. Rochdale was the first of its kind. Who went to this elementary school here? Shout out to Fred Wilson, man. He and his family was one of the first blacks to move to Rochdale. He was a member of the board of directors, and he was the president of the Black Society in Rochdale. He also became the Democratic district leader. I think it's important to know why certain streets are named what they're named. Unfortunately, I spent some quality time here at the 113th precinct for various different situations. A few years back, my friend Tiffany and Jamila asked me to play for their mother's homegoing service. It was at this church here. And shout out to my homegirl, Wendy. She's a teacher here at this school, and I did a career day this year. Rochdale has 2 malls. I'm only going to show this one in this video, though. I haven't been in here in years. I used to spend a lot of time in Rochdale. I had like a summer youth job over here at one of the schools, and I used to play ball in the park all the time over here. And it used to be a lot of girls in Rochdale, man. And yeah, it's been a lot of quality time in this mall right here, man. And a lot of it's changed. I don't even recognize half the things that's in here anymore, man. What has changed in here for you? Some people remember in 1983, a partial part of the roof had fell off during a snowstorm in February. I'm not sure if it was the big mall or the small mall. One of the great things about Rochdale is its sense of community. This garden in 1982 was featured in Newsweek, promoting healthy living and social bonding through food. In the middle, you got the parks. You got the playground, you got the baseball field, you got the tennis courts. Even though this had some nasty double rims, I had a lot of good games in here. Definitely heard stories about 72 growing up, man. I did a summer youth job here at one point, man, and the kids was wild. This is 134. If you're from the 90s, you already know what was going down on this block. You know how legendary this block is. Shout out to Freaky Ty and the whole Lost Boys family, man. This block is serious, man. This strip back in the days is one of those official, yo, whose mans is this strips? I'm glad I always knew at least one person over here, man, so I didn't get taxed. Speaking of always knowing somebody, I just ran into my homegirl June that I went to Bayside with. Everybody knows June, yo. Yo, where we at right now?
Okay, we are 134 and God off road.
That's right, that's right.
We are, as you can see, this is where we are and this is where we from.
That's
From
right.
the front to this back right here. So, about 45 years in.
So after talking to people on the block, I realized everybody's worried about gentrification. And as you can see, they're raising the price of the rent. CBS reported a 22% increase this year, and they're looking to do 57%. So just like the Ave, they drive traffic away, get these stores to close down so they can go ahead and probably make a new apartment building over there. I mean, even this Checkers is shut down. I mean, it's totally abandoned. Now, question, my memory is not that great. Wasn't this building originally an old like club that used to have like people like the Dells and old groups like that used to perform in here? Am I right, or was it somewhere else? This is Baisley and Guy Brew. I remember when the street was still New York Boulevard. In 1982, they changed the name to Guy Roland Sheen Brewer in honor of the City Assembly's first black majority whip. Now, the Door is famous for having some of the best Jamaican food. I'm going to keep it 100. We haven't cooked Thanksgiving dinner in 3 years because we've been ordering our Thanksgiving dinner from the Door, which I believe is a club that Fatback played at back in the days. So shout out to Jamila and Tiffany, June, and everybody else that I know that's from Rochdale, man. If you're from Rochdale, shout out what building you're from. Peace.